everyone, it's Lioness. So I kind of didn't want to make this video because it's a video about combing out locks and cutting locks. And when I saw Natural Nirvana's video, I was on YouTube on my phone, the one that where she came with her hair pressed and she announced to everyone that she had combed her locks out. I was one of the first people that watched that video because I saw it come up right away. And then I watched it and I commented on it, and out of curiosity I went back to see how people were reacting, because at that point it had like maybe 12 likes and then like maybe 3 or 4 dislikes. And I'm like, okay, so a third of the people have already disliked it upon watching it. I just, out of curiosity, I wanted to see what people were commenting. So I went back maybe the next day to see what people were saying, and I saw like the F words thrown in there and just people being really, really nasty. And I was like, okay. And then maybe like a few hours later, I saw at least 3 or 4 people posting their own videos, people in the law community, kind of commenting on the situation with Natural Nirvana and how people reacted to it. I saw another video just last night about it. And I'm like, do I want to be one of those people that jumps on a bandwagon and comments on something right when it happens? But I don't know. I'm just commenting on it because when I watched other videos and I would comment, I'd see like maybe 2 or 3 people comment on my comment, oh, I'm glad you still have your locks and all this other stuff. And I'm like, in my head, the video you're watching isn't about me. Like, what does that have to do with anything? But so basically I'm just going to get this out there for people that don't watch all my videos that might ask me if I will ever comb my locks out or cut them. So basically I've been locked for about 4.5 years. I actually get to 5 years in January, so it's closer to 5. And I have noticed that working customer service, working with the public, or just being out and about most of the time, I see a lot of people that, instead of just saying nice locks, when they start to talk to me about my locks and what I do to maintain them and how long I've had them and all this other stuff, once in a while someone who doesn't even have locks most of the time will be like, oh, well, you should cut them soon. You shouldn't let them grow any longer. And before, it was only like friends and peers that I have that are, I'm a licensed hairstylist, so I don't do hair anymore, but there was a time when I was doing hair, all my friends basically and my peers were hairstylists, and it was always them that would tell me, you shouldn't let your hair get too long because it's going to get heavy and it's going to break. Cut it when it gets to a certain point. Some people will be like, oh, well, I had a friend and theirs got too heavy and their hair started to break, or they started to have sitting hair. And I'm always trying to be gracious when people ask me questions about my locks and talk to me about my locks and try to give me advice about my locks. But it's gotten to the point where I'm kind of like, I kind of block it out. Like I'll reply to you, but then mentally nothing really goes on. I don't really have a reaction from what you're saying. And I've always said that if I did get tired of my locks or push came to shove, I would cut it off from the root instead of combing them out. The only reason I don't want to comb my locks out is because I'm really into healthy hair, and I kind of feel like the way I treated my hair, having locks, not that I treat it badly, I wouldn't want my loose natural hair to be in that state. I don't use conditioner that often. I literally tear apart my locks when I'm separating. All I do is I shampoo. My hair is probably drier, and then I would want it to be in a loose natural state, because if I did have loose natural hair, I'd be doing like deep treatments every single week, and I would be detangling gently so I wouldn't be ripping my hair or causing split ends. Like, the way I treat my hair as a person with locks, I wouldn't treat my hair the same way as loose natural hair. So I would just start over from point 1 if it came to that. There was a situation that happened a few weeks ago. It hasn't even been 3 weeks, I don't think. And I told myself when it happened that I wouldn't talk about it because I already know what the comments would be like, and it wasn't that big of a deal for me. I know why I reacted the way I did, and I'm at peace with the way I reacted. I don't need people trying to incite some kind of like anger from me or be like, well, you should have done this, you shouldn't have that, you should have done that. That was discrimination, blah, blah, blah. Basically, when I started doing hair, I finished hair school and then I worked at like, I'd say it's a multicultural salon. Like there's a black stylist for people that wanted to have like braids and relaxers and weaves. And then there was like an Indian or South Asian stylist and a white stylist for just random Caucasian people or people of color that wanted something else done, like a perm or like a curly perm or just a haircut, things like that. So it's like an all-inclusive salon, and it wasn't very expensive and it was close to my home, so I worked there. And then I had applied for a curly hair salon because I really wanted to specialize in natural hair. Natural hair was my passion. Natural hair is why I even started hair school in the beginning. So I worked at a curly hair salon, and that was a really good experience as well. But then the person who hired me, the person that owned the salon, she was going to sell the salon, and I became antsy. I'm like, I don't know if the vibe's going to change. I don't know if the whole thing's going to change. I had already applied a while ago, and I was just touching base to see if she had any openings at this other curly hair salon that was really popular at the moment. And she did, and long story short, I ended up working at that second curly hair salon full-time, and I worked there for 2.5 years, I think. I applied to this other curly hair salon, and I mentioned what my name was. I mentioned a couple of the places I'd worked in the past. So obviously the owner of the salon had a chance to like Google me, and she was interested in me coming in for an interview so that we can talk more, because we talked on the phone. And then in one of our phone conversations, she's like, by the way, do you wear your hair out? I'm like, my hair is locked. I locked my hair and it's still locked right now. It's curly technically, like kinky curly, but it's locked. And then she's like, would you ever consider wearing your hair out? Because all of our stylists, it's a curly hair salon, they wear their hair out. It's like a requirement. And I'm like, I don't know if I would, but I will definitely think about it before we meet up the next time. I don't know what I need that time for. Like, I should have told her no right away, but I just kind of felt like, you know, at least think about it a little bit. If you're 95% sure, just think about that 5%. I did not to do it because I'm not someone that's really, really passionate and really, really good at doing hair hands-on. And for me to take my hair out and then go to a salon, have to do hair hands-on full-time and commute downtown, those are all things I didn't want for myself, and I would not be happy, and I would end up really, really regretting taking out my hair, which is a major, major decision. So I told the owner, you know, I had a whole weekend to think about it, and I just decided that it wouldn't be the right fit for me. And I didn't know how she would respond, but she's like, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm really, really glad that you were honest with me, and it just symbolizes that you know what you want. So I guess she was saying that she wouldn't have wanted to hire someone that was kind of unsure about what they wanted in the future, and it was just, I guess, a blessing that I knew right away so that none of us would have wasted our time. I know that at this point, if I did comb my locks out, I have really, really thick hair that was always pretty hard to maintain, and my hair was maybe this length when I started my locks, and it was always twisted. I don't think I would ever see myself with mounds of like, like I've seen clients, I've had clients, and I've done their hair where it's like I'm detangling it and I'm cutting it and I'm watching it, and they have like a ton of loose natural hair, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is what my hair would be like if it wasn't locked. And to all the people that have the patience to maintain their hair and look after their hair and have like thick, beautiful natural hair, like, kudos to you. But I love being low maintenance right now. Like, even my makeup, I love being low maintenance. So at the risk of rambling, I'm going to just end off by saying I don't think anyone needs to judge other people for their choices. Like, I get judged all the time in the hair industry. Like, why do you have locks? It shows that you don't have enough versatility. It shows that you're a little bit low maintenance. It's harder for you to fit in. It's harder for you to experiment the same way that these stylists are like doing different styles and colors on their own hair, like, continuously. Like, you can't do that. You're limiting yourself. Like, how do you come into the hair industry and have locks? It works both ways. Like, because I chose to lock my hair knowing that I was doing this, I don't feel like anything anyone else says is going to stick to me, because I know my reasons for doing it and I'm happy that I did it, and the people in my life accept me with my locks. And it should be the same thing with people that choose to take their locks out, because at the end of the day, it's just hair and it's their own journey. It took me a long time to get to the point where I was confident enough to cut my hair off to go natural, confident enough to start locks knowing that people were going to have certain stereotypes about me, and then confident enough to just keep them, like even after they started to attract a lot of attention, and people would say sometimes, I don't say ignorant, but people would say just random things to me all the time on a daily basis, just to grow a thick skin and keep them. So anyone that's gonna like take their locks out as a part of their own personal journey, and you don't know why they did it, maybe the locks weren't for them, maybe they just want to break from them, like maybe they missed their loose natural hair, like whatever the reason is, it's just hair, and it's a really, really personal choice. It's a really, really personal journey. And just like when I used to work in those natural hair salons, I see people on a daily basis with beautiful loose natural hair, and I don't like hate on them or feel like they're different than me because their hair isn't locked, even if they had locks in the past, because many people had locks. I would be doing their hair and they're like, oh, I had locks like 4 years ago, and then I cut them. Like, why are you going to judge them? They're just telling you about their history and their own personal journey. Like, it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes you can learn from it, or it's interesting. Like, it's just, we all have our own experiences, our own journeys, and that's exactly what they are. You can't put your own thoughts and your own journey and your own experiences on other people. So that's how I'm going to end off. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you soon. Ciao.